Welcome back to the Habit Society, where I help you improve your leadership and management skills using habits, routines, and proven principles. I'm Ty Nichols, aka the Habit Strategist, up early, getting after it. If this is your first time here, please hit the subscribe button to get more leadership tips. I am super interactive, so feel free to ask questions below. I would love to answer. If you're a new subscriber, type subscribe in the comments. Let's connect. Today we are talking about feedback. In this video, I'm going to share with you tips on how to give and receive feedback, one of the most important skills for leaders. So let's get started. Feedback is a process of giving and receiving information about someone's performance, behavior, actions. Feedback can be positive or negative, formal or informal, verbal or written. It can be direct or indirect. Feedback can help you learn and your team improve on skills, performance, and heck, even happiness. However, feedback can also be challenging, uncomfortable, and stressful. That's why many leaders and managers avoid giving feedback, or they just do it poorly. But don't worry, I'm going to show you how to do it like a boss. As an executive for Target for over 16 years, I became an expert in feedback. In my last role, I had 225 team members, 12 team leaders, and 7 executives at a $62 million store. There are generally 2 types of feedback givers. The super soft, lackadaisical ones that barely get the point across, and the team member doesn't even realize it was feedback, or they're just left confused by the conversation. Then there are the 2 rule for TV types that are so blunt that they make people cry or they just want to quit. My methodology will dispel both. The first step is buy-in. Getting buy-in as a leader is mission critical in all phases, but especially feedback. I use what you would call micro-programming. I want the team member to tell me yes before we even begin. For example, I'll say, hey, do you have a minute to go over that project you just completed? Or I'll say, hey, I had some ideas on how we can improve upon some things. Can I share those with you? This lets them know subtly that feedback is coming. The next step is to be specific. Be specific and timely. When you give feedback, no matter if it's a subordinate, a peer, or even a friend, honestly, you should be specific and timely. You should give the feedback as soon as possible after the event or situation, and focus on the facts and behaviors, not the person or personality. Oftentimes when people get feedback, they take it like a personal assault on their character. They're so offended. So you should also use examples and evidence to support your feedback. You want to avoid using vague statements or generalizing type of statements. For example, instead of saying, hey, Martha, you did a good job on the presentation, you want to say, hey, Martha, you did a good job on the presentation because you explained the main points clearly, you used relevant data, you answered questions with confidence. On the flip side, you say, hey, the Franklin project, it was due by 8 a.m. and you missed the deadline. Very specific. By being specific and timely, you will make your feedback more clear, more accurate, and ultimately more helpful. This way it's clear what they should be doing and what they should not be doing, or rather what they should stop doing. Next is the impact. What impact are their behaviors having on you or the organization? This is where you show the team member that they're actually a part of a team. And you want to continue with specificity. For example, because the Franklin project wasn't complete in the expected time frame, I was unable to present the relevant data to the client, and we therefore lost a client. This shows the impact, the chain of events from their specific behavior. The final step is having this feedback conversation and ending it with a question. You'll say something like, here are my thoughts on the situation about what we can do differently. What do you think? This turns the conversation from a monologue to a dialogue, where you and the team member are having a problem-solving discussion. This not only ends the conversation on a higher note, but it gets you more commitment from the team member. And you would rather have commitment over compliance as a leader. That's my method on giving feedback. Get buy-in, be specific, state the impact, end with a question. Hey, and here's a bonus tip on giving some feedback. Now, you can use the sandwich method or the Oreo method, whichever, kind of works best for you. When you give feedback, you should always use the sandwich method if you can't set it up the right way. With the sandwich method, it's where you stick the negative feedback in between two pieces of positive feedback. The sandwich method can kind of help you balance your feedback and make it more palatable, more acceptable. For example, instead of saying, hey, you were late to a meeting and you didn't prepare your report, you can say, hey, you're a valuable member of the team, and you always contribute to our discussions. However, you were late to the meeting and you didn't prepare your report, which means it really affected our progress and our credibility. I truly appreciate your efforts, and I hope you can improve your time management and planning skills. By using the sandwich method, you will make your feedback more positive, respectful, and motivating. Here are 2 tips for receiving feedback. First, you got to ask for it. You should actively seek out feedback from your team, from your peers, from your superiors, and be open and receptive to their opinions. You should also ask for feedback on specific areas and aspects that you want to improve. Ask for examples and evidence to support their feedback. For example, instead of saying, hey, how am I doing as a leader? You should say, how am I doing as a leader in terms of communication, delegation, motivation? Can you give me some examples of what I'm doing well and what I can do better? Or is there anything that I can stop doing? By asking for feedback, you will show your interest, your curiosity, your humility, and you will get more useful and relevant feedback. Next, listen and acknowledge. When you receive feedback, you should listen and acknowledge. Listen attentively, respectfully to the feedback, and avoid interrupting or arguing or even defending yourself. You should also acknowledge the feedback and thank the person for their time and honesty. You should also express your understanding and appreciation of their feedback and ask for clarification or follow-up if needed. For example, instead of saying, that's not true, I always prepare my reports on time, say, thank you for your feedback. I appreciate your perspective and concern. Can you please tell me more about why you think I didn't prepare my report on time? By listening and acknowledging, you will show your respect, gratitude, and willingness to learn. And you will build trust and rapport with the person. Lastly, and probably most importantly, take action and follow up. When you receive feedback, you should take action and follow up. Implement that feedback immediately. Make the changes and improvements based on that feedback. And you should follow up with the person and update them as to your progress and results. And then, hey, ask them for some more feedback. Check in and see if they're satisfied with your performance. For example, instead of saying, okay, I'll try to do better next time, you say, okay, I'll do better next time, and I'll let you know how it goes. Can you please give me some more feedback after I turn in my report? By taking action and following up, you will show your commitment, accountability, and improvement. You will enhance your relationship and your reputation with that person and within the company. So, hey, these are my tips on how to give and receive feedback effectively and constructively. I hope you found this video helpful and informative. If you did, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel for more videos on how you can improve your leadership and your management skills using tiny habits, routines, and principles. If you have any questions or comments, please leave them below. I would love to hear from you. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next one.